demand that blood renew. Among the noble houses still, one child per line, one branch, one lip, no guarded name, no secret claim, is split between two heirs the same. My house broke nothing in the law, one sanctioned birth revealed its flaw, one pregnancy, and two sons came. My father breathed first, another followed minutes later. Two brothers, one birth, two faces. Vaelwyn came first, so Talion became the heir. Became the second son. Father learned the rights and names, the council's bloodlines, guarded claims. Vaelwyn learned the forest floor, what roots concealed beyond the door. Before the elders, father stood, as every Vaelwyn heir should. Vaelwyn learned the looks he knew, whenever one more jest broke through. But once the doors were closed at last, my father's sternness rarely lasted. Vaelwyn taught, my father laughed, he gave him breath when duty pressed. I knew my uncle first through stories. Once father slept across the ledgers. Vaelwyn moved the scrolls, covered him with his cloak, then claimed the archives had developed a maternal instinct. Father still smiled at that. After one endless speech, Vaelwyn asked whether the elder had finished or merely paused for breath. Father scolded him there. He laughed later. I never knew the man they cut, from branch and record, seal and root. I knew the shape his absence made in every tale my father saved. Vaelwyn could erase a name, remove a line, deny a claim. But when my father spoke of him, the missing branch grew green again. I knew Vaelwyn's second hand. That was how a buried name survived. But father was more than what he lost. He taught me judgment had a cost. Here first decide when pride is still. Correct the fault, not break the will. When I mistook a right or nay, he showed the error, spared the shame. He carried council house and grove, then came back home with what remained. Some nights we talked until I slept, some nights he stayed, that was enough. And when he told their birth again, his solemn mouth would always bend. Vaelwyn had arrived too late. Even then, he'd say, and laugh, so did I. Then some mornings took him longer. Some days he dressed, reached the door, and had to sit again. He still judged fairly, still asked what I had learned. If he missed a lesson, he tried to return. I thought discipline could defeat anything. My father left me more than grief. I learned his patience, learned his care, the weight of judging what was fair. I would have traded rank and name to keep him teaching me the same, and anger found a door towards someone I had never known. Vaelwyn left, that much I knew. When I asked what he had done, Father closed himself away. So I blamed a shadow for the hours it took from me. The tutors filled the missing chair. They shaped my voice, my stance, my stare. The grove came first, the south came last. A face must hold when grief moves vast. One day correction turned too hard. I failed the form, I dropped my guard. I was tired, I wanted Father there. I cried, I asked for him. The elder waited until I could breathe. Your father cannot carry this for you. Then came the lesson I never lost. A Vaelwyn does not cry. I wiped my face and started again. Later, Father stopped guarding the story. He spoke of a fault, of exile, of a vote. Sometimes he begged Vaelwyn not to leave while staring at an empty room. He described the man who brought the staff back. Very tall, white hair, blue eyes. A werewolf from the mountains, once called Frostfair. He repeated the moment. He knew his brother would not return. The past grew easier to reach than the room around him. Then came other words. Could not keep looking inward.
Guarded peace meant little
if the world beyond the trees was breaking.
Closed eyes did not make ruin disappear.
I thought they were fathers. I did not yet know whose voice he carried. They struck Vaelwyn from the line, but could not cut him from his mind. The name they buried under law returned in everything I saw. What once was warm and close and clear became a wound repeating near. I knew Vaelwyn through him still, but memory no longer bent to will. My father remembered enough for both. At 18, I carried more of the house. Father sometimes stayed in bed for days. I sat beside him anyway. He told me stories I knew by heart. I never said so. When he slept, I stayed. When he woke confused, I stayed. When he spoke to Vaelwyn instead of me, I stayed. I no longer came only to learn. I came because he was my father, and because I loved him. His hand lifted weakly I took it. Father, I'm here. He groaned, then looked at me. For one breath, I thought he had come back. His hand fell. One tear crossed his face. None came from mine. A Vaelwyn hair does not cry. My jaw tightened from the first time. Measured voice, a steady hand,
the keeper of the guarded tree,
the wall that duty asked of me.
But when my daughter learned my name,
I could not teach her quite the same.
I heard the boy I once had been.
Whenever discipline grew keen,
I let some questions cross the line.
I let some faults escape in time. I saw her hunger for the road, the thirst my father once had praised. I should have closed that door.
I did not.
Father stood between.
So will I learn to look beyond. I broke one link
And kept the bond. I would not shape her grief to stone, nor teach her tears were shameful shown. And now the staff was here again, in the hands of a young man who spoke a language neither my father nor I had ever been able to read. Vaelwyn had erased Ealorin. My father never could. Despite everything I had been taught, I had never destroyed what he left behind. The journal still existed. My father could not read it. Neither could I. The young man before me could. My grandson.